This is Crimson Blades. I know it's been a while since our last videos, but basically we're back and we're trying to try something a little bit different now. We're going to be trying out this game called The Pale Beyond. It's a narrative sort of survival aspect game which deals with a couple of people going into the frozen wasteland, I think. And I haven't really had a chance to play this yet, and so I thought we could do that together. Alright, starting a new expedition. Oh, the air be is cold. Of flake and white, as a sailor begs their pledge. Out in the ice they'll stake a claim and carve a course ahead. Of glory found and forged in frost, so that their tale be spread. A hunger draws the desperate here. Its calling sows dispread. What will ye do when steel hearts break and courage does abscond? I learn to live a life out there, out here, out in the pale beyond. Begin your journey. Okay. Crew wanted. Able-bodied crew wanted for dangerous expedition. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return, small chance of success. It's glory to be had in the event of success. Dress overleaf. You're alone in the office. The tea in your hand has long since gone cold. I'd rather coffee. Looking around the room, you can make out a collection of military books. On the desk is a ship in a bottle. A metronome ticks away steadily. I find it quite calming. It's quite calming. I find it rather calming. The dedicated rhythm soothes the senses. It stops. I'll keep waiting. You hear footsteps climbing and the stairs that brought you here. I will remain standing. The door behind you swings open. The captain bounds past you to the other side of the desk. Mustach. Do you have all of your teeth? My teeth. Okay, I'll open my mouth. You bare your teeth to the man. Good. Can never be too careful. The captain sits down. It's the little things you can lose people to. You're late. Best get used to waiting in this line of work. How many people have died under your supervision? No, I'm an excellent person. Nobody. None. Meaning you're either perfect for the job, a liar, or you've never been in command. Which is it? No, I'm the former. I'm perfect for the job. Where's that option? If I was a liar, would I be in this room? Please take a seat. It's okay, I'll sit down. I can't be that rude. This chair is uncomfortably large. The seat feels worn. Smoking that long. I'm Captain Hunt. Sure. He nods. On your desk, which ship is that? This? Detailed, isn't she? Incredibly. An old sailor superstition. I hope you weren't waiting too long. I'm told it's worth the wait. Good. There's been a lot of candidates. Some good, some bad, interesting mix. I'm sure you understand the need for discretion. The advert said there's glory to be had. Months of darkness, low wages, slim chance of safe return. That didn't deter you, did it? Quite the opposite. It's why I'm here. Thirst for adventure then. He winks. I'd keep that to yourself around the other sailors. They might drown you in it. I have a few questions first. He looks down at his list of questions. Were you born a landlubber or a sea dog? Okay, so I'm presuming that these are the background of your character and that'll affect things. So let's just see. Is this like a guide? I'm sorry? I'm asking where you crawled out of. It's alright. We've all sorts here. Okay, let's have a look. Landborn are those raised within the imperial society, raised the colonial cities. Landborn appropriately spend much of their life and work within those cities. While it isn't unheard of, those who find themselves working at sea are rarely tasked with manual labor. The Saltborn are sons and daughters of the sea, a solitary culture of sailors and whalers. Saltborn are rarely away from the open waters. The vast majority of sailing crews are made up of their ranks, though few are found in the position of officer. Matwash prove harder to place, a mix of salt and earth in their upbringing. Matwash tend to live as drifters, rarely belonging to any one group. As such, they tend to be well-traveled and well-experienced, but struggle to find acceptance and belonging. I think we're going to be a colonial navy person from the city, but made my way to sea eventually. Military experience? Oh yeah, there is the option. Royal Admiralty. I'm a Royal Admiral, my friend. 2 tours. Under what circumstances did you leave? In one piece. You'd be surprised how many can't even say that. Have you ever fired a weapon? I think I'm going to become a pretty evil and rude Navy officer, only for sport. Have you ever killed a man, directly or otherwise? Only for sport. The captain chuckles at what he assumes to be a joke. You're not married, are you? Of course not. You better not have a death wish. One must believe they'll return to justify leaving in the first place. Any less and you're doing yourself a disservice. Can you get to the point? Of course. We're here to find the ship in that bottle. The Viscount. Heard of it? This is some kind of joke, right? The captain sighs and takes a deep breath before trying again. Not this, Robin. 5 years ago, she set sail on a research expedition towards the Dead Peninsula. They were trying to find and study the absolute magnetic south. Viscount, strange name for a ship. They can't all be named for dukes and princes. Viscount wasn't always hereditary, was an earned title once. Admirals certainly loved their metaphors, almost as much as their medals. Hunt, no offense. I'm Admiral, yeah. Anyway, the point is she never came back. Her last known location was 200 miles south of land, presumed lost to the ice. 5 years is a bit late for a rescue operation. They're probably dead. Alive or not, their research is supposedly of extreme importance. And we're supposed to be chasing this research? Exactly. I'm going to need more than rumors about lost ships if I'm putting my life at risk. Naturally, here's what we do know. Not one person or thing has been heard from the Viscount since it first left port. Until now? Until now. Someone was found who claims to have been on that ship. They're probably lying. Rumors attract fools and the mad. If that's the case, then someone is putting a lot of money into chasing rumors. Those with more money than sense want that old ship. That's the job. If I don't pick the first mate, somebody else will, and, well, my judge of character has gotten me this far. Who's financing all this? The usual. Film and lecture rights have been sold, of course. We're in the process of signing off on a final benefactor for the expedition. They even donated a ship. We'll be traveling on board the Temperance. She's a beauty. Greenwood, generational. Not many like it left these days. The Viscount and the Temperance. They are sister ships. Built together. Sent out into this world to die alone. You seem to love metaphor yourself. Indeed. Perhaps that makes me a hypocrite. But I like to think one calls for the other. The captain looks at the bottled ship. So what do you think? Sounds like you'll need all the help you can get. We will. The captain checks his watch. Anyway, I think I've heard enough. The captain stands up. We leave in a month. Welcome aboard, Shaw. Proverbially speaking. So I have the job? What do you think? I'll see you on the Temperance. Captain makes his way to the door and you follow. It's off to an interesting start. You arrive at the docks a month to the day. Before you lies the ship. The letters on its side read Temperance. So that's the option. Approach the Temperance. You walk the cobble to the boarding ramp. Beside is a sharply dressed man overseeing the loading of cargo. He turns to you with a stern expression. You can feel his eyes assessing you. Colonial, sideburns, Templeton. A military gate. You must be Hunt's first pick for mate. Yes, he recognized my military background. I figured he'd keep it in the ranks. Good man. He extends an arm. Richard Templeton, a pleasure. Oh my god. Alright, no. I'm a rude Admiral, man. Don't shake his hand. Your hand remains at your sides. He retracts. I shall be operating as the chief science officer on this expedition. I'm also the incumbent representative of our benefactor. Do, however, consider myself and my team at you and the captain's disposal. Fairly certain we're all disposable. He straightens himself. No doubt I needed to inform you of your duties. You're second only to the captain himself. Though I must warn you that you have quite the task ahead. The rabble I've spent the afternoon sorting are the same that you'll have to whip into shape. Punctuality, schedule, a strict adherence to what we need is if this expedition is to succeed. I expect you to be organized sort. You would not have been assigned the role otherwise. Ah, interesting. So we have a week, time of day, temperature. I likely have more in common with the crew than I do yourself, Mr. Templeton. No offense was meant, Officer Shaw. Board when you're ready. And when you find yourself needing a scientist, we can try this again. it's overly rude. Let's have a look. The city. You'll be gone for quite a while. It'll be some time before you see the city again. A young man stands at the ramp, steeling himself for the journey ahead. Hesitantly, he begins to drag his feet up the ramp and onto the ship. The Temperance. Hunt's description of the ship was accurate. Near identical to the Viscount, barring some modern additions. It is set sail. Week 1. 1 week on the Temperance. Pale beyond. And the music's. It's been a month. Ah, so that was me documenting it. Those lines like the pale beyond earlier. First mate Shaw, personal log. It's been 1 month since I signed on and 1 week since we've set sail aboard the Temperance. I'm told the waters will get warmer as we pass the hemisphere before they turn colder. Let's talk about the Temperance. The Admiralty had nothing like this. An abomination. One of the finest ships of its day, cauterized and mangled with iron and roaring machinery. Historic carvings line the wood now, desecrated with veins and oil and pipe. An abomination, but for the coming weeks, my home. Who's paying for this? I can't help but wonder who's footing the bill for all this. Certainly not the captain, though brazen such modifications to the ship mustn't have come cheap. I should investigate further. As for its master, he's mostly kept to his quarters so far. I kind of trust the guy. The captain seems like a trustworthy sort. Experience alone justifies his position. There aren't many who make out the other end of a naval military service with all their limbs, let alone his vigor. I have all my limbs. I come out in one piece. There is something he's hiding, so he's not telling the whole truth. Can't shake the feeling that he's not telling the whole truth. I do find myself warming to the man. As for the rest of the crew, there are now 22 of us, including the captain. Our next spot will be our last before we enter the ice, to pick up the remaining 4 members of the crew, the scouting team. Hunt is also keen to work out a deal with a pack of sledding dogs. They smell terrible. though I'm told it will soon be too cold on the ice to smell anything at all. One of Hunt's sailors approaches. Joe, Captain wants to see you at the helm. Good, I want to see him. He leaves. Crow's Nest. Crow's Nest currently stands unoccupied. The scouting team are expected to join at the next spot. Ah, so these are members of your crew. Is everything locked? Yes. Let's meet the captain. You ascend the stairs to the stern and find the old captain manning the helm of the ship. Ah, Robin, lovely day for it, isn't it? One of your lackeys summoned me. Heh, yes. I'd also happen trust that lackey with my life. He thinks for a moment, first stepping aside and stretching out a wrinkled hand. Oh, Colonial. Did you ever take the helm in the Admiralty? Never felt right not to for me. Here, why don't you have a try? It's a God's sake. I really have other duties I should be attending to. Your duty is first and foremost to this crew, is it not? He smiles. The ship can't steer itself. Right. It's not my job. The captain looks at him for spinning the wheel and stepping away from it. The entire ship lurches port side. Oh! Grab the wheel. You're mad guy. What the? Years of sailing memories instinctively jolt you forward to grab the wheel, righting the ship. Okay. So let's have a look. So you can have a look at what's around us. The captain laughs. Very good. The adrenaline is still pouring through you. Are you insane? You could have killed us all. Yet you stepped in. He pats you on the back. You mustn't take it all so seriously. There'll be plenty of time for that later, I'm sure. He winks. Now try to get a sense of where we are. Get some perspective. Peaceful, isn't it? Huh. You can actually zoom out quite a bit. Panning and zooming can be adjusted. Alright. Okay. He takes the wheel back from you. I think I'll drink the morning in a little longer. Would you mind preparing my quarters for the day's work? There's much to do. This is Lock 4 Castle. Alright, let's check out his quarters. A pristine furnished tub secured to the floor, a luxury to be had on the ice. Classical painting depicting sailors doing battle with a kraken. Oh, Landborn. You are unsure if it's of any historical significance, though you recognize the ship as the galleon of Captain Hamish. On the desk, you make out a variety of papers, notes, and maps, as well as a sealed letter with a stamp you don't recognize. The desk itself is suspended with ropes to keep it safely in place. You take a seat at the end of the room. The captain joins you. Now let's run through our provisions before taking requests. What's requests? Oh. To start, there's 23 souls signed on to this expedition, ourselves included. That's 16 free to be assigned to tasks, if they aren't already busy. The rest are deployed to their permanent stations. You are only able to deploy crew you have discovered. They must be in good health and not otherwise deployed. Okay, so these are basically my resources in some sense. We'll be picking up the scouting crew at the next spot. The lot of us also seem to be in good spirits. That's morale. The expedition will end tearing itself apart if you end the week with no decorum left. If you have enough provisions for at least 6 months in case of an emergency, if you cannot afford the minimum food rations at the end of the week, crew will become malnourished. Unless cured, the malnourished status will develop into scurvy, a severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. And more than enough fuel to see us there and back again. Colder temperatures will increase the minimum fuel required at the end of a week. If you cannot afford a minimum fuel, crew will become freezing. Unless cured, freezing status will develop into frostbite, a severe status effect that prevents crew from working, eventually killing them at the end of the week. Alright. The the sledding dogs. Well, there's still a matter of negotiation. Dogs will be needed to send sledding teams out to gather resources on the ice. Sending hunts out further requires greater amount of dogs. They will rest and become available between weeks. Okay. Now on to work. Cordell first. Let's talk to him. A sailor enters. We found a stowaway in the lower hold. Bring them in. Another sailor enters, leading a young man by their side. You know, you're not the first stowaway I've had. The captain studies them further. You know where we're heading, don't you? I do, sir. The ice. Did you know that before you climbed inside the crate? I did, sir. Ah, how old are you? You're hardly a useful pair of hands. Not true, I can pull my weight, sir. You know your jibum from your bowsprit. I don't know what a jibum from bowsprit is. I do. I learnt it all from my da. Your da? His ward son. Smooth talking. His ward son followed him on board back in the city. What should we do with him, Captain? Well, Shaw. Hunt eyes you up. Your first mate, what should we do with him? It's more hands. Let's just keep him on board. I'd keep them aboard. Hint squids. Why? Oh, his options are. We don't have time to we don't have the time to accommodate this. If the boy wants to freeze to death, let him. Oh, thank God, the evil Navy officer. Alright, boy, consider yourself part of the crew. Be sure to keep your nose clean and follow orders. I will, thank you, sir. Captain, not sir. Hi, Captain. Stowaway joins the two sailors below deck, now a member of the crew. Well, it seems the litter has a new runt. Hope the rest won't mind sharing their rations. What of the father? What of the father? He should be punished for letting this happen. Another mouth to feed on the ice can be the difference between life and death. Simple. Split their pay and their rations. Any rations the boy takes should come from his... Yes, that works. Maybe we'll make a sailor out of him by the end of this. Well, that matter's sorted. Let's talk to Cordell now. Have you agreed upon my conditions? To the point, eh? Sure, this is Lady Cordell. Cordell is here to provide us with a kennel of hounds for the slids. And a gentleman was that she would train them up, and as our agreement was that she would train them up until we part ways at the nearest island. But you neglected to inform me that you were bringing my dogs through the Peel Passage. I had no intentions of sending the pack to its death. You seem to have good faith in this expedition. It's one thing to ask for my whole kennel, it's another to drag them into the ice to chase a myth. Never before has a buyer been so dishonest. And never before has a seller made such strong demands. You already sold the dogs, did you not? You have no control over them now. I have the right to rescind the sale at any time. I am willing to honor the deal fully should my conditions be met. She demands we allow her to come along on the expedition as a member of the crew. None on this ship have the experience and familiarity with these dogs that I possess. If you are taking them to such a brutal location, they will need me to guide them if they have any chance of survival. The humans on board too, of course. Of course. You can see my dilemma, Shaw. You've just accepted a stowaway. Bringing on another member of the crew is a risk, but our hands may be tied. Your thoughts? If you're so adamant, we accept the offer. It's not a bad idea to have more people. We accept the offer. You can't decide that yourself, Shaw. You aren't the captain. Hey, you asked me. But you are right. I doubt Lady Cordell is likely to give up in her demands. He turns to her. The deal is already to your benefit. Do you have anyone on board with extensive training in the management and ruling of dogs? Your sleds are useless if you can't control the dogs efficiently to haul them. And I would like to ensure my dogs are treated properly. Oh my God. Don't expect the crew to waste time taking care of your mutts then. I would not trust them to. I'm more than capable of that myself. That mean dog face like that. I'll have a room prepared for you below deck. No need, you'll find me in the forecastle. She looks at you with disdain. With the mutts. my god. Maybe Shaw is too rude now. I hope I'm not making a mistake, Shaw. Okay. It already makes me nervous, this little portion. Now, all the resources might start to deplete. Now, that's all settled. I have one more errand for you to run. Could you grab the Stoke brothers and order them to meet me up deck after dinner? Hefty lads, red hair. You couldn't mistake them for another. Do you require me for this meeting? No. This isn't a matter the first officer need concern themselves with. They'll be down on the middle deck. In the meantime, you should grab a copy of the crew manifest and get acquainted with more of the crew. Alright. Fair enough. Who's this? Drawing the figure balancing on the mast. Upon closer inspection, you make out the ship's photographer, Kasha Belford, balanced on the ship mast with a camera lining up a photo. Get down immediately, you'll kill yourself! You startle the woman, causing her to fall and nearly drop her camera. Help her down. You help her retrieve the device and untangle herself from the rigging. That was a close shave, Officer Shaw. It's about time I met the first officer of the ship. Kasha Belford. You seem to already know my name. How so? I do my research. I suppose there was some sort of rule against what I was doing up there. Deepest apologies, but sometimes there's a shot you just cannot pass up. An accomplished photographer, Kasha Belford won the Fentler Prize, the highest honor in journalism, for her work covering plague outbreaks and riots in the capital. It came as a surprise to many that such a reputable journalist would take such an interest in this expedition. There was scarcely any chance of Hunt or the benefactor turning her away. He expected someone of her accolades to be older, more experienced. This is likely her first time on the sea like this. She is not prepared for this. That much is obvious. The cold game. Picture that as a header. What? For the piece on this voyage, I'm trying to come up with a snappy name. Nobody will read it if the title sounds like a work of an amateur. This isn't a game, Kasha. An expedition like this isn't light business. Kasha nods eagerly, but you can tell she's not really listening. Oh right, of course. It is thrilling though, isn't it? Suppose someone of your experience finds it all boring at this point. A trip to the ice may seem dull compared to the Royal Admiralty. You have that right. That's a shame. Looking out on the open ocean, I don't know how anyone could find it dull. It's no wonder the great explorers like Kurt Darling would always come back to it. That reminds me, he'll be joining us at the next spot. I should get his picture at some point. Kasha holds up her camera with a sense of pride before holding it up to her face. Stand still, Shaw. Ugh! My eyes! My eyes! Please warn me before doing that. Oh, sorry. It's for the manifest Hunt wanted me to put together for you. She hands you an annotated document. Here it is, the crew manifest. Oh, alright. Interesting. So they have little, I guess those are little like traits perhaps? Sailor, ice savvy. Okay. Scouts, engineers. So I haven't met them, so they're not here yet. So I can't control them if I haven't met them. That's the rule. That's me. Colonial landborn. Science officer, landborn, captain, ice savvy, mudwash captain. I never knew. Resource cards, camera, accordion. Grimly's accordion. Alright. Time to leave. It's a work in progress. The scout team are to join us at the next spot, and the captain's forbidden me from the boiler room. If you could ask the others to get their portraits taken, I'd be very grateful. Don't want to leave anyone out. Do something like that stunt on the mast again and you'll be removed of your camera. Understand? Kasha looks at you with uneasy eyes. Her grip on the device is tight and protective. Yes, officer. You don't want to lose that picture though. It's very striking. Safety is our priority here. You will be wise to remember that. Understood, Officer Shaw. Won't get carried away again. Officer Shaw is too mean. She hurries past you. You wonder if she'll heed your warnings. Who's this? 2 Johns. You spot a large man with a youthful gait, carrying a heavy crate over his shoulder with relative ease. Oh, you're Officer Shaw. He gives a bright, warming smile. 2 Johns. That's what they call me. I'm sure you'll get your nicknames later. Two Johns attempts to offer a handshake but loses control of the crate. He struggles before firmly holding it in place with both hands. Ah, maybe later. Work awaits. John added to the manifest. John. That's why it's two Johns. Alright. What's this? Forecastle. The forecastle door appears to be locked. You can hear the kennel master preparing the room inside. Let's go downstairs. Descend below deck. Can I zoom out? Yep. There's nothing around here. Let's go further. Oh. Approach the cook. You find yourself almost knocking over a man carrying a heavy pot. Careful! Careful! You almost got drenched in broth. You should be more careful. Last I checked, you were the one rushing through my kitchen like the ship was on fire. You hear a roar from the other side of the door. Oi! What's holding you up? The cook shakes his head with a smile and chuckles slightly to himself. He grabs the large pot and prepares to make his way to the hungry crew before turning his head to you. If you don't mind, could you carry that tray of biscuits behind me? Do I look like a cook? Do it yourself. You are the first mate, aren't you? You should be expected to help out with this crew in any way you can. God's sake. I don't care what you think. You're just the cook. I've also been working under Hunt longer than almost anyone. Much longer than you. But what do I know? Suit yourself. Junior, where's the bloody feed? I'm on my way. Oh. You are Junior? Aye, why? Have I a reputation I don't know about? Oh, it's one of the brothers, the 100 to me. Is your brother around grimly? Aye, of course. I take that to mean Hunt is on the look for us. Don't you worry about it. I'll grab Grimly. My brother's quicker to offend than I am. I'd hate to unleash your people skills upon him. Oh my god. Alright. The crew have their meal. It passes in relative silence. Okay, so time of day is moving. The crew return to their posts. The hammocks are unfurled in preparation for the evening. Twilight falls. Who's this? The dinner table. Over dinner, you overhear the newly picked up stowaway speaking with a one-armed man. But da! Your lucky Hunt didn't throw you overboard. Half a mind to do that myself. Come on, da. I'm here to help. Better know that involves work. Don't expect special treatment. I won't. You're an impossible child, Timmy. Doug Ward. So I guess they get updated here, right? Doug Ward. Alright. Let's go upstairs. Oh, somebody there. You spot one of Templeton's science team pacing around the mid-deck, searching through luggage that has been pulled from the cabin. Mr. Gloss. Let me look in the light. Where was it now? He notices you. Ah, Officer Shaw, correct? Dwight Glossley. Amazing, Dwight Glossley. Apologies, I seem to have misplaced something while settling in the cabin. A bottle of wine, actually. My God, you best not be drinking on the job. Oh, of course not. I have to keep the senses sharp in this work. My wife and I brought a bottle to celebrate with. To be saved on the journey back, of course. Well, if you find it, please let me know. Dwight Glossley. What's this? Enter my cabin. Oh, smell terrible. Alright, so that's my notes. Anyone else here? No. Let's go upstairs. Someone here. The ocean. As you look over the railing out to the ocean, a wisp of smoke flies past your face. You turn to examine the spot and spot a sailor with a pipe in his mouth and a sheet of paper in his hand overlooking the stirring waters. Smoking sailor. Looking at something? Not many sailors can read or write. What's the letter? A letter. All you need to know. Tashi. After introducing himself, Tashi falls silent and begins to read the letter. Trying to draw conversation from him may be similar to extracting teeth. Vern Sheridan. What's Tashi then? Is that his nickname? There is. Oh yeah, Vern Tashi Sheridan. Right. Oh god, Templeton. You spot Templeton looking out into the sunset. As you approach, he turns to you and nods. Ah, Officer Shaw. It'll be some time before we see a sunset such as this again. The light distribution towards the southern pole is quite a change. No, this we can't be saying this. We're terrible people. I noticed you had dinner with the others. Weren't at dinner with the others. I prefer to eat in solitude. I have my own cabin and I make use of it. Templeton keeps his focus on the reflection of the setting sun over the stirring waters of the ocean. There is great expectation upon us, officer. From who? Who is this benefactor of ours? That's not for you to know. Not yet. Hey, what the? Tell me the truth. Templeton looks down, catching his reflection in the ocean surface. He looks back up at the sunset. Quite the sight, but I wouldn't linger upon it too long. We should retire for the evening. It's important for the first officer to be well rested. Alright. Hold, eat, advance the next week. Okay. So, can we move it around? So, people's morale will drop if they don't eat. But they also have a risk of malnourishment and stuff, right? Let's do fuel rations. You can go a lot of fuel. But why would I go with tons of fuel? This will make people cold if I don't. Alright, so it's interesting. Okay, so there is the element of me controlling these resources, which will make up a good portion of it. Alright, let's just go with the basic. Everybody gets some food, fuel. The ship makes its last spot at Orca Island. Cordell's sledding dogs are picked up. The scouting crew and Kurt Darling are picked up. The days are getting brighter as you move further south. Let's start next week. Week 2. 2 weeks on the Temperance. Alright. Huh. It's a wrap on the cabin door. But we will find out who that is in the next one. So I hope you guys are enjoying the playthrough so far. I'm having fun. You know, it's trying to kind of figuring out the basics here. We're off to the icy realm to kind of figure out where this strange ship is. I hope you'll continue to join me for this journey. I hope you guys have a good day. Remember to like and subscribe. Apologies for the lateness with the videos, but we're back. Take care and have a good one.